Hello again. Final stage of the Verkerk Volvo, and it's basically the wheels to go on the chassis, and then the cab behind me that then wants mounting. So in between the last video and this video, where things kind of went a bit tits up, I have gone and just added the little decals and stuff like that, the water slides that they provided in the pack. There wasn't really many, just some 750 stickers, the FH stickers to go on the front and the Volvo sticker, and a couple of little like chevrons which went on the back of the rear mudguards there. Now we're on to tackling the wheels. Now these are completely different to your Tamiya style wheels, which the Julies go through, I think, if I remember rightly, with like 3 little nuts and bolts to clamp them together, add the tyres, bolt them on, away you go. These are more like crawler wheels, so if you build crawlers and you put your own wheels together and they come with hundreds of little nuts in there on each wheel, these are kind of like that, which you can see here. So we've got the rear Julies and their tyres. I mean, look at those tyres. Those are the rear ones. I have just tucked them into the tyres at the minute, but they are just one solid aluminium piece. And the tyres are just lovely. I mean, the detailing on them to all the numbers and everything else, and the tyre ratings and the logos. Bit unsure on the treads. And the other side, again, the same. And then you have the front super single tyres there with the little Michelin guy again, energy, and your tyre size 385, 55, R22 2.5s, all the little warning stuff on there and everything else. Very, very nice tyres compared to the Tamiya tyres. These are just, again, another level on details. But the Verkerk products have always been pretty out of this world. And I have had the ups and downs with this kit, but to be fair, it was their first ever model kit they produced, other than the accessories. So it was like a trial and error thing. And unfortunately, they went bust after that, which is a shame. But yeah, these wheels. So here we've got the tyre, and then these little bits that go onto the wheel, and then you got the plates to go over, and these, and that's pretty much one wheel, along with all these little washers, nuts, little bolt cap things to go on. So they're like real scale looking little, I don't know, wheel nuts. That's what they are. Couple of little there just to bolt the rear Julies on, and then they all get clamped together using these scale bolts. There's a bag there for the front wheels, and we have a bag there for the rear wheels, and we've got like another part of the inner rear Julie, which they kind of just go in and give them that chromed effect. Very nice. And also for the front wheels we have these. Again, they'll go in the tyre, and then they'll be like followed up like such and such, and these, and then these, and a million little bolts, and they do come together nicely, as you can see there in the manual. But I'm going to go through this. Just going to show you like with one wheel for the front, and I'll show you one of the rear wheels, and then I will build the other two up and we can get those on. But yeah, as you can see, you got all the nuts that go in behind on the front wheel, and then all the wheel nuts that hold the front wheel on. Really amazing details, really is. And the mirrors, I've come up with a temporary solution for the mirrors. So I've got some double-sided Gorilla Tape, which is super strong stuff. It holds my reg plates on the car, so it's good enough for me. I've basically just laid out a little patch of Gorilla Tape on a cutting mat, and I've stuck all the little mirror brackets onto one side, and then I've just cut around it with one of the scalpel blades, craft knife, leaving me the double-sided sticky on the back. So there is just a film there to peel off, and then I can just temporarily stick them on where they need to be. That way I don't have that risk of glue just ruining the paint should they get bust off, because it is super delicate. So it's a nice temporary fix to get these on until I come up with another solution, which will probably be to put some tiny little screws through there and screw them into the side of the cab. But yeah, as far as the decals go, we have the Volvo there and the FH16 there, along with the little 750 logos, and there is one of these on either side of the cab. These are in fact water slides and not stickers. I just chuck one on the rear and just pop that up there. Don't know why really, but I did. The chevrons at either side and the little side markers, there is a little sticker that goes behind them, a little orange reflective sticker, and then these little lens caps I've just stuck over the sticker with some white glue. And that's pretty much all I've done since the last video. Also need to get the mud flaps on, and then there's the suzies to go in the back of the suzie mount there. Oh yeah, we've got the rear caps as well, which will go in the rear like so. Well, as you can see, that is quite a mass of parts and hardware for the 4 wheels. But it's all part of the joys of it, and like I say, this is the final stage, so I'm gonna get this done, and then that is Verkerk Volvo completed. And then we have the, well, it just looks like a pile of dust at the minute, but we've got the Scania 770S there that needs finishing off. If I remember rightly, looking at it, we'd got to the point of basically putting all the body panels together for that one and getting the cab painted and everything else, and then finishing it off in that respect. But I do believe, as far as the build series went so far on that one, I got the main parts, which was the chassis, completed. So some of that I will be stripping down to repaint and just rework a few bits, just to make it personal rather than just the usual all black this and everything else. And also the Agostini car has arrived, or should I say the first assembly parts of the car has arrived, and it's a mammoth 6-scale Shelby Mustang. The thing is going to be huge. Like I say, I've received the first parts, and there's 2 assembly stages in the first bit, and the box weighed a ton already, and there's nothing in it. So the next assembly stages are in fact on the way, and we'll build that up little by little as the parts come in monthly. So there's a bit more content there, something a little different for you that like your model cars and stuff like that. This is what we'll be needing for 1 wheel, and we'll only be needing half of the bag for 1 wheel, half of that, half of that, half of that, etc. But we need all that for both the wheels. First thing first, wants us to pop a wheel into the tyre. Now, on these tyres, the super singles, they are marked different on each side. So I do want the energy marking on the outside. I don't suppose it matters, but that's just my personal preference. So with that being the outside, that'll be the back. So this just wants to pop in, usual way of putting wheels and tyres together, and the lip on the inside of the tyre is just going to sit within the groove there on the rim. So let's pop that in there. There we go. Next, we're going to need a couple of bearings. And some one in one side or one in the other. Now we've got the bearings in, we're going to need, well, how many holes is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these. And from the rear, I'm just going to pop these through all the holes. They don't just slot through. So I'm going to have to screw them all through. So taking the little 2.5mm little socket thing there, and then I can get all these screwed into where they need to be. So I'm going to get all them in there, and I shall come back once these are all screwed in place. At least they're not going to slide out the back while doing anything with. At least we know that they're in there. So there's one, and I'll just go and finish up the other 9. And look at the scale hardware bolts. I love the hex bolts. So much more detailed than the little crossheads and your flatheads and your Allen bolts. Now we have the massive little bolts through there, all screwed into place. I have gone and done the other wheel as well while I'm at it. We can now move on to the next part, which now we have to actually pop this onto the chassis, and then it wants bolting to the axle bit and then we can bolt all these on with another ton of nuts, the wheel nuts. Oh, the wheel just goes on like a wheel. There we go. And we have these little nuts which we're going to put on to hold the wheel in place. So you want to make sure everything is right behind there, because you don't want to have to put the wheel on, because once it's bolted on there, that is not it. You then hide the nut with another 10 wheel nuts and these little bits and bobs and 6 washers. Clamp that up nice and tight. And it shows you tight, so really clamp them up. You got Mr. Muscle there telling you, so don't have them loose. Now we want this, which is this little black thing here, and this is just gonna pop over the center there. No glue. In fact, I don't think there's one spot of glue for the wheels, which is probably the most least glued part of the truck. And then you want to take this nice rim cap. So I am just gonna give this a little wipe first. Any of them fingerprints off it. all the holes in there, it's just gonna slot over the nuts. And then put the fingerprints back over it all again. Just trying to tuck the tyre back on the rim because the plate doesn't seem to want to go over there just yet for some reason. Let's try again. There we go. And we'll be able to just pop the wheel out once this is bolted on. So the next part is we've got the little center cap there. They are optional, so you can in fact have them on there with the black in, or we can have the center rim in on there like so. And then there is like a black Volvo chromy decal to go in the middle. Decisions. So I'm just going to need a moment actually now just to decide on what I'm doing here, whether I want that on or not. Yeah, I'm going to have that on. So let's proceed again. I might be better just showing you this on this cap, but if you look in to the back here, you have 3 like more hollowed holes, and those 2 not as much. So we're going to be putting washers in the 3 there. Stay. So we need 6 little washers. So if I just get this truck on its side a moment, and then I can drop them into place, otherwise they're just gonna keep falling out on me. So now we have those washers in place, we can now finish clamping all this together with the little wheel nuts. But yeah, as you can see there, there's the 2 which don't require washers, and then the 3 on either side which do. Look at the details in those little nuts. It's going to be a bit fiddly. So I have an issue putting the wheels on because the end of that won't seat in there. What the hell am I meant to use? So the tweezers are working. I'm going to have to do it with tweezers and literally just grabbing the end of them and just rotating them in. I mean, they are like the smallest type little socket heads that I could find. So it's a shame that they don't fit through there really. It would have been nice if they provided a tool to do this with. Figured out how we're doing it, so I'm gonna finish bolting them up and the other wheel, and then we can move on to the rear wheel. 4 in and 16 more to go, including the other side. Getting them on the tweezers, and luckily the tweezers do just slot in and get a good little grip on the nut. It's just not the ideal way of doing things. And the final one, legend. Well, it's not the final one, is it? Because I've got the other side to do now. Wife there laughing in the background. She thinks it's amusing. I think it's the biggest pain in the arse ever. Who the hell puts nuts on with tweezers? I mean, you don't go out to your car, do you, when you're changing your wheel with a set of frigging tweezers? So, I'll be back in about 7 days once I've got this wheel on the other side. And the other side complete. Got a steering angle on that. Almost 90 degrees. So, real ones now. Hopefully, there's going to be no tweezers required. So, the rear wheels. And the same principle. Only this time, we're going to be bolting those onto the rear wheel using all these. So same way I did the first. So I'm going to go and get all these screwed up into there and that bit clamped on into the wheel like so. And then it's sitting the chrome bit over but on the other side. And then I'm guessing it's the dreaded tweezer moment again. But now we got the bolts in them little hub things. I can now proceed to fit the wheels. They're just gonna drop into all the little holes. And then we can slot the wheel onto there. Don't worry, the wheel arch isn't broke, they are detachable. There we go. And then I've just slotted the rim on over the bolts. And I've just put the washer and the nut into the center there, as you can see, and we're just going to tighten that up with a 5.5mm. Again, another one of these. And I'm going to have to pop this on its side again and do exactly as I did the first time round, and then can get the tweezers in there and tighten it up with the tweezers. And then once that's all tightened up and out of the way, I can just pop the little center cap on there. Ta-da! The wheels are complete. And I just got the mud flaps stuck on the back of the arches there with a bit of yoo-hoo. And there's the other side. Just look at the detailing on those tyres. And there's the front wheels with some superior steering angle. Now I haven't fitted servos to this truck, nor have I put an ESC in it and stuff like that. However, the servo motor is in there, just in case, because that would be a pain to fit later on. But the ESC and stuff, I believe, if I remember rightly, the tanks come apart in half and everything goes in there. So that's no problem to install stuff later. The servo would just bolt up to them from underneath. So again, no problem. Should I wish to use that as a functional truck. But like I keep saying, there is no way that I would probably run that on a layout for risk of someone bumping it. Now then, those were optional, but again, it would mean did have to be glued onto there, which is just no chance. So as they're optional, I opted to leave them. So the mirrors, as I said at the beginning of the video, I had used some double-sided Gorilla tape. So I think I'm going to go ahead now and just get the mirrors stuck onto the cab. Well, already that seems to have done the job, done it? Not even got the other half on there. Like I say, it's just a temporary measure. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And they fold in and out okay. So, we won with that one. That one's gone on okay. It's probably not even going to go anywhere now. But if that comes off, at least I know I can just add tape and nothing else is going to keep getting damaged. So I'm happy with that. I'm probably just going to keep it with that. So I'm just going to pop the other side on. And there is the other side. Jeez, if I'd have thought of this, I could have just like double-sided sticky tape the whole truck together rather than using glue, but never mind. Yeah, it definitely looks better with its little ears on there, doesn't it? Nice. We've got the suzies and then the cab to mount. So I'm just going to pop these in place. Literally the ends just pop into the little holes, and then I'm just going to put a drop of Yoo-hoo on the backs just to secure them in place. And then we do have these little things that would kind of like go into the trailer, like the plugs to go into the trailer. And we're just going to glue them onto the ends like so. Small blobber, the Yoo-hoo on the back, just to kind of lock them in place there. Lovely jubbly. The Yoo-hoo on the ends of these. So that's the suzies in place. And now the cab. So let's just pop them down, because those two are just going to clip into those on the front. So this really is the final piece of the puzzle. Wow, this has kind of been a long time coming. You know, it's so much easier to build when not filming stuff. But, you know, I just try to give you guys a bit of knowledge and how to. Now these just want to push into here. I just tilt this while I just give those a push down into place. There's one, there's two. This side gone in. There we go. Nice. Well, that's it for that one. I hope you enjoyed the build. It's been, like I say, it's been a journey. We got hold off with COVID, where I had to like put my stuff away while my daughter were at home and stuff. And then I wasn't feeling the greatest this year. and since getting back into it I've managed to get it finished. I'm glad it's finished and it looks amazing. It's had its ups and downs, it's tested my patience, but yeah, I'm glad to have it finished, really am. I'll show you the truck now it's complete in another video, and we can go around it properly and have a little talk about it and stuff. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Ciao for now, guys. Yeah. Stunning.